Right, so let's jump back into After Effects and have a look on how to create lights. I have imported here my Exorcist poster, okay? And I'm gonna use this to create my composition. So I'm gonna just grab my JPEG file for the poster and drop down here on my new composition button to create a composition with the same measurements of the actual original poster, right? And you can check the timing by going Command K. It's 24 frames, 8 seconds. Beautiful, that's what I'm looking for. You can go here where it says 25% and fit it up to 100. There you go, so you can actually go full screen on your canvas. Right. Also, there is some rain footage that comes with this tutorial that you can just drag and drop on top of the poster. Now, I know you can't see shit, but you can just increase the size of your rain like this, and then go down here to toggle switches and modes to change its blending mode for normal to add. Add basically makes the black transparent, so now you can actually make rain in front of the poster. Yeah. Now, word of warning. Lights, just like the camera layer, they only work on 3D layers. So let's go back to toggle switches and modes and make both of our layers 3D. You just have to tick this box underneath this little cube here. Okay, if you can't see that, click on toggle switches and modes. This switches back and forth from the blending modes and the other functions as well. Now, we're going to be working with lights. They're difficult to position and move around, so I suggest that you lock both of your layers just by clicking on these boxes with underneath the padlocks over here. Okay, this will ensure that when you move stuff around, you're not dragging your layers. Okay, let's go to Layer, New, Light. Layer, New, Light. Light options will come up. And there are 4 types of lights that you can work with. Parallel. Parallel lights are basically like the lights on the ceiling here. It's like a plane, it's like a square-shaped light. Spotlight's like a cannon, like a stage light. Point light is kind of like a candle, okay? Just the burning light from the candle illuminating space. And ambient is like the sun, gets on everything. Let's start with a spotlight. Let's make it slightly yellowish, like very pale yellow thing. Kind of like that. Hit OK. And hit OK. Sweet, that's my light. Now, lights have a bunch of different controls that might be very scary and difficult to play with in the beginning, but don't worry. You see this little crosshair right here where the light is pointing to? That's the light's point of interest. So you can actually grab this with your regular move tool and position where you want the light to point. And then you can grab this other one, this gray circle in the middle of the light control where it says X and Z. And move it like so over here because I want this to be our point of interest. Not our point of origin for the light. And then grab this to make our point of interest down here on the actual Exorcist. So basically what we're doing is position the light so it illuminates the scene like the lamp, the window over here. Okay. Now we can turn this one off. Okay. And create another one. Layer, New, Light. And this one is going to be a point light. Same color. The point light, you can move it easier by just using the red and green arrows. So if you can just drag this down a little bit. And then drag this to the side a little bit like that. There you go. So that way we position that on top of the lamp post. And you can double click on your light to change the intensity and some other stuff as well. So I'm going to make my intensity, let's say 20% for this one. And then you can turn on your spotlight again. Cool, so this is what we have so far. You can even see the rain through the light. It's pretty cool. Right, now, what we're going to do is actually make these lights flicker. After all, we're basically making a poster for a horror movie. So what we're going to do is down here on our spotlight, for example, we're going to open our drop-down menu, open our light options, and find our intensity control, where it says 100%. Now, remember, when you click on a stopwatch, the stopwatch will turn on and create a keyframe for you. But you can actually hold Alt on your keyboard and click the stopwatch to open a line of code. I don't know coding. I don't know how to code in After Effects. I only know one expression by heart, and that is the one we're going to work with. It's very useful, and that is the wiggle expression. The wiggle expression basically randomizes values of your parameter, of your control that you're working with in two ways, frequency and intensity. So in the parentheticals right here, you need to input two numbers. Let's say 5,15. Then you click away. So wiggle 5,15 is going to wiggle the intensity of my light, of my spotlight, with a frequency of 5 and an intensity of 15 points. So now when you play, you can see that the light's flickering a little bit. So let it render a bit. There you go. So now when I play, you can actually see that the light is flickering a little bit. Cool. Let's do the same thing with the other one. Just drop down the point light options, hold Alt, click on the stopwatch for intensity, and then wiggle 5,15. There you have it, flickering lights, The Exorcist. You can take this even further by doing wiggle on pretty much everything that you want, right? So we can actually just wait for the render so we can see how it looks. Nice. Good one. Now, you can't keyframe parameters that have expressions on them. So one thing you can do is duplicate that layer and then change the numbers on the wiggle for that. So let's say from 4 seconds, I'm going to duplicate my point light. So Command D on that, Command D on my spotlight, and I'm going to make both of them start from here, 4 seconds. And then I'm going to get the other two ones and make the end at 4 seconds. So that way, when this one ends, this one begins. I'm going to open my settings for this point light, the second one, and then I'm going to change the values of my intensity to wiggle 50-50. I'm going to do the same thing with the color. Let's go crazy on this shit. So wiggle 20-20. And do the same thing with the second spotlight. I go to my light options, open my expression and go 50-50, and then do the same thing with the color. Wiggle that. And then, you know what? I'm gonna duplicate the poster as well. Just need to unlock it first, of course. So one that starts over there, and one that starts over here. This one's fine, and then on the second one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open my scale. And I'm going to wiggle that as well, you know, why not? And I'll do the same thing with my rotation for the poster. Or orientation, because we're working with a 3D layer. So now when I play, you should see a bunch of stuff happening. There you go. You're basically randomizing the scale, rotation, color of the poster and the lights to get this crazy effect. So one more time. Yeah, that might be way too much. But still, it's cool just to try it out, see how things work. Aha, that's it. Now, that's it for this one. You don't have to do this crazy color thing. If you ended your tutorial before that happens, like this, you're fine. You did great. This is all you needed to learn from this one, is how to work the lights.